As much as we think of Jesus as God Almighty, the Son of the Most High, which he was, I think sometimes we forget that he also was human. And in his humanness, he suffered just as we suffer in our day-to-day trials and tribulations. And he loved his apostles. He handpicked them. And to think that one of his own, who sat at table with him, would betray him. Think about how intimate it is when somebody invites you over to dinner. Or maybe somebody on the holidays invites you over because you have nowhere else to go. What an intimate thing that is. There's this implied trust that if you're here at my table, you're a friend, and I don't have to count the silverware when you leave, or I don't have to lock all the bedrooms, make sure that they don't get in there and get into any of mom's jewelry or anything like that. Because you trust them, you eat with them. And to think that one of those who Jesus loved and trusted would betray him is so hard to imagine. And in Psalm 55, it says, if this had been done by an enemy, I could bear it. But it was you, my intimate friend, who did this to me. It hurt all the more that he was betrayed by a friend. And that friend, in despair, didn't even bother to come back to him and say, Lord, I'm sorry, please, if you can, forgive me. Instead, he took his own life. God knew that Judas was going to repay him or betray him. Jesus knew in his heart of hearts that he was the one. And when Judas said, surely it's not I, it must have been like twisting the knife to Jesus, knowing what was going to happen. And how did he react? He could have called down a lightning bolt. He didn't. He just let it happen because he knew it was somehow part of God's plan. And it says in that first reading, I set my face like flint. Flint is one of the hardest rocks. It's brittle against the insults and spits. He did all that he could to keep from reacting in kind when people were unkind to him. And it wasn't just how he lived, but how he died that touched the hearts of many people. How many times do we act like Christ in our own families? And how many times do we act like Judas? When we get into arguments over little stupid things that we know in the back of our mind are stupid, but we still have to keep egging it on because we're stubborn or because we're somehow upset. Or how many times have we said something to someone we love that we knew was going to just tweak that little button that sets them off? I know I've done it in my own family. And when we do that, in a sense, it's the same kind of sin as Judas. If this had been done by an enemy, I could bear it. But because it was you, my husband, my son, my daughter, my father, my wife, because it was you who hurt me this way, it hurts all the more. And so as we go through the season of the week of Holy Week, and it's time to reflect, it's time to step back a little bit, especially on Good Friday, and think of all the things that we've done, to ask God's forgiveness, to take advantage of the sacrament of reconciliation, and to confirm in our hearts that never again will we hurt those that we love, those who we should be lifting up. It's part of the human condition that when someone does something to us, we want to react in kind. Someone slaps us, we want to slap them, whether it's verbally or physically. But it's not God's way. He doesn't want us to be doormats, but by the same token, he wants to react in love, trusting that love will not allow them to say, well, I said this to her because she said this to me, or I was justified in being angry because they were angry first. It has to stop somewhere. And if it stops with us, then we'll be the Christ person in that relationship. And maybe, just maybe, that love will touch the hearts of the people around us, just the way that the soldier that cast the lance into the side of Christ was healed when he saw how he died and turned around to become a saint, St. Longine. If we can make our ways more like Christ, setting our face like flint, absorbing those blows that come our way and asking God to forgive us and to forgive them, then maybe, just maybe, we'll transform our world this Holy Week and have an Easter like none other.